ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च। Can repeat. न सन्दृशे तिष्ठति रूपमस्य
न सन्दृशे तिष्ठति रूपमस्य
न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनम्
न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनम्
मनीषा मनसाभिक्लृप्तः
हृदा
मनीषा
मनीषा
मनसा
विक्लिप्तः
य एतद्विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ति
ययेतद्विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ति
यदा पञ्चावतिष्ठन्ते
यदा
पञ्चावतिष्ठन्ते
ज्ञानानि मनसा सह
ज्ञानानि मनसा सह
बुद्धिश्च न विचेष्टति
बुद्धिश्च न विचेष्टति
कामागुः परमां गतिम्
कामाहुः
परमां गतिम्।
गतिम्।
असन्दृशे it is in Mahanarayana Upanishad. As class I do not remember the swara. It is in Mahanarayana Upanishad. In the beginning itself it is there. न सन्दृशे तिष्ठति रूपमस्य न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनम् यदा मनीषा मनसा विक्लुप्तो ययेनं विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ति. In the Mahanarayana Upanishad, it has this mantra occurs, part of a particular Anuvaka there. In this mantra, the 9th mantra, the Upanishad has said that Alingasya प्रत्यगात्मनः दर्शनम् हृदा मनीषा मनसा अभिक्लुप्तः इति अलिङ्गस्य प्रत्यगात्मना दर्शनम् भाष्यकारः has said in the introduction to this mantra katam targi alingasya darshanam. So alingasya pratyagaatmana darshanam katam bhavati hruda manisha manasa abhikluptaha iti, by the mind which has gained focus, concentration, the mind which has become unwavering, non-extrovert, manisha manasa. And Bhashyakara has said avikalpayitriya manasa, the mind which is free from extrovertedness, avikalpa, no vikalpa. By that mind, samyak darshanam becomes abhikliptaha, abhisamartitaha bhavati, abhiprakashitaha bhavati. Bhashyakara said it becomes abhikliptaha, revealed. Samyak darshanam happens in the mind which is free from vikalpa, which is free from the extrovertedness, which has gained the focus. Therefore, the mind is preparation of the mind is emphasized here. This mantra is important in the sense that it prescribes the condition that the mind must enjoy chitta ekagrata, the one-pointedness, the focus. Chitta ekagrata means the mind is free from roaming all around in spite of the provoking situations or objects all around us, bombarding us every moment. The mind is free. To achieve this mind, one can take up any sadhanam. For chitta shuddhi, one can take up any sadhanam, like karma yoga, panchamaha yajna, danam, tapaha, upavasa, this punya kshetra yatra, the karma like ishta karma, purta karma, all these are sadhanams for chitta shuddhi, not for jnanam. They are not jnana sadhanani. Therefore, chitta shuddhyartam sadhanani. Similarly, for gaining chitta ekagrata, one can take up the sadhanam like upasana, saguna brahma upasana, devata upasana, puja, etc., which is prescribed by the shastra. Again, it is not jnana sadhanam, it is jnana yogyata sadhanam. One can also do Ashtanga Yoga Abhyasa prescribed by Patanjali, following the 8 anga, 8 steps. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. 8 linga, 8 limbs are there, angas are there. The first 2 is important, Yama, Niyama. Yama includes Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Yama. Niyama includes Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas, Svadhyaya, Ishvara, Pranidhanam. So do's and don'ts, then asana, pranayama, then pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So it is Ashtanga Yoga. So when a person has practiced and sufficiently prepared by following either upasana or yoga abhyasa, Ashtanga Yoga Abhyasa, then Shravanam is enough for that person. There is no need for Nididhyasanam. Why? Because he gains the vision of Shastram, the vision of his Swarupa, he gains the Jnanam of his Swarupa so clearly, uninterrupted vision of oneself he enjoys, he gains. Because he is a prepared person, the mind is prepared. So when the preparation is there, he gains the vision so clearly. That is called Samyak Darshanam. Darshanam means Jnanam. Because most of us are not prepared or qualified for Jnanam. Why? Because neither we practice Upasana, nor we do Ashtanga Yoga in the modern days. Therefore only we need Nididhyasanam. If the person is prepared, then Shravanam alone is enough. Because sufficient preparation is not there, therefore only Nididhyasanam. Because meditation, that Nididhyasana means meditation. Because meditation is required, therefore a person can come to wrong conclusion, which is very important to be understood here, so that we don't commit the same mistake. So we'll talk about a little, then we will proceed. Then we will read the mantra. So we'll talk about that here. Some sadhakas, spiritual aspirants, they put a lot of effort, expecting that all that would lead them to a profound spiritual experience in meditation called samadhi. A state of absorption in which the sadhaka experience Atma, which is Purnanandaha. Because the experience takes place, he becomes enlightened. That is experience of Ananda in Samadhi, Ananda Anubhava. This is the general wrong orientation almost every budding sadhaka has, not understanding what it really means. They hunt for the profound spiritual experience, where in meditation, they meditate, and finally reaching the state of samadhi avastha. There they will experience Ananda, Atmananda, Purnananda. So this is what a sadhaka in the beginning, because of some orientation, this notion he has. Some people have this. Since any worldly experience is in the form of perceptible results, these sadhakas also want to experience everything, including Atma. Atma also should become experienceable for them. Atma becomes experienceable if it is an object, but it is oneself. Therefore, wanting to experience Atma or the Ananda of Atma, the happiness, the bliss, they say bliss. Swamiji used to make fun of the translation, Ananda as bliss, capital B. Therefore, they want to experience that, therefore they plunge into meditation. How long? Years after years will pass, but they will never experience that. That would never happen, that experience of Ananda in meditation, deep meditation. Because Atma Anubhuti is not a separate experience, experienceable in Samadhi alone. If it is so, if Atma Anubhuti, that Ananda, it is experienced only in Samadhi, then if you come down from Samadhi, then what happens to the Atma Anubhuti? You will lose Atma Anubhuti. If it doesn't happen, then Samadhi, that is the highest state. But once you come down from Samadhi, you will lose Atma Anubhuti. As you experience Sukham in Sushupti, deep sleep state, where there are no objects, there is no, in fact, you, that Ahankara also not there, mind goes to dormant stage. So therefore you experience Sukham in Sushupti. As you experience Sukham in the Sushupti Avastha. Similarly, Samadhi also gives you probably an experience where there is no meditated difference. In Sushupti, there is no Vikalpa. Similarly, in Samadhi also there is no Vikalpa. There is no difference, subject-object difference. There is no meditated difference. But you have to come down from it. You cannot remain in that state all the time. You have to come down from it. Because your karma is waiting, prarabdha is waiting for you. Therefore, you cannot remain in it forever. Therefore, we say, irrespective of the states of existence, whether it is waking state or sleep state or dream state, Samadhi also can be put under waking state. Irrespective of the states of experience, you continue to be what you are without any change. or rather you continue to enjoy or revel in Atma Jnanam, dismissing every experience as mithya. That knowledge alone liberates a person, not samadhi anubhava. Thinking that samadhi is the highest stage and hunting for that samadhi anubhava, that alone gives me moksha, is wrong. That not, if it is that gives moksha, when you come down from samadhi, you lose atma anubhuti. Therefore, where is moksha then? Therefore, you continue to be the same atma, and whatever experience you have, it comes. All those experience you dismiss as mithya, irrespective of the state of existence. You continue to revel in atma, atma jnana, dismissing everything as mithya. That knowledge alone gives moksha. That knowledge alone liberates you. That is the knowledge is that knowledge is the liberating knowledge. Knowledge liberates you, not the anubhava. Atma is there in every anubhava. No anubhava really can give you freedom. Because when you say anubhava, experience, that experience implies division. Enjoyer, enjoyed, enjoyment. That Veda, the division is there. A jnani dismisses the division as mithya. Therefore, he is not after experience, and there is no hunting, desire for hunting for experience. Anubhava, the experience, since it implies Veda buddhi, since it implies division, where division is there, how can there be moksha, freedom? So, since everything is understood or dismissed as mithya by a jnani, therefore he is not after this ananda anubhava experienced in samadhi, the meditation, deep meditation. Therefore, a jnani with samadhi or without samadhi, he continues to revel in its swarupam. He continues to enjoy shanti, which is beautifully said in the Gita, Apuryamana pratishtam. We have seen second chapter at the end. Samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kamakami. Every ananda anubhava, whether it is of this world or even of the spiritual world, this jnani is fulfilled, is complete. He understood its svarupa, which doesn't require any experience. Therefore, shantim apnoti. Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumans charati nisprigaha nirmamo nirahankaraha sashantim adigacchati. Shantim adigacchati. He continues to revel in its svarupa. That is its svarupa jnana. It is not anubhava jnana. In every anubhava, that svarupa is there. Therefore, that knowledge only liberates the person, gives mukti, moksha, not samadhi. Samadhi is the state of absorption, meditation, deep meditation. So some sadhakas, they have this misconception that samadhi state gives moksha iti. That we don't accept. Another common mistake what a sadhaka does is he wants to convert the book knowledge. Shastra Patanam is book knowledge. Okay, that he wants to convert into practical knowledge, like we have theory and practice in the school. So now Shastra Patanam is theory. That has to be converted into practice. The knowledge, what he has gained by theory, now he wants to experience, he wants to put that knowledge into practice and experience. This is another common mistake. Shastra Patanam, is it bookish knowledge? If it is book, because he thinks it's bookish knowledge, therefore he wants to convert into experience. Therefore, he takes up many sadhanas from theory to practice. How? By meditation. He does meditation. He wants to have the samadhi state. Pujya Swamiji used to make fun of this type of meditation. In the white heat of meditation, finally the Atma Anubhava takes place. So Swami makes fun. The white heat, all these are very nice, flowery words they use. We have been studying Bhashyam, and when we study Bhashyam of Shankaracharya for Upanishad Gita, nowhere Shankaracharya has said that knowledge to be converted to Anubhuti by Dhyanam or Samadhi. As he said anywhere? Nowhere he has said. Therefore, to say that the study of Upanishads, Gita, and other Prakarana Granthas gives theoretical knowledge and deep meditation leading to Samadhi, in which one experiences Atma as Ananda, to say that is contrary to what Sampradaya says. Acharya, since we have studied some Upanishads and Gita, we have never seen that nowhere it is been said by the Sampradaya that is theoretical knowledge and that has to be converted into Samadhi Ananda Anubhava. Nowhere it is said. No, Sampradaya never says like that. But there is the experience and the Ananda Anubhava, that hunt, that desire is there, the search for that is there in spite of studying. Therefore, and also the orientation is there, this bookish knowledge to be converted to practical knowledge. Since this is a common orientation among the people, that is the wanting to enjoy the experience as with regard to the objects of the world, they also want Atma also to be experienced. If Atma is experienced, then who is the experiencer? Then who is experiencer? Any experience brings in the division of the experience from the experienced. If you experience Atma, then you cannot be Atma because it is available for your experience. Therefore, it must be clear that Samadhi Anubhava is not required for Atma Jnana. This is one thing to be understood. Samadhi Anubhava is that Ananda Anubhava which one gains in deep meditation. Therefore, Shastra Patanam is not sufficient. One has to meditate and gets to Samadhi state. There you have Ananda Anubhava. That is not correct. That must, for Samadhi Anubhava is not required for Atma Jnanam. This is number one to be understood very clearly. Then, is Jnanam a theory or it is meant for practice? If you say Jnanam has to be converted to experience by practice, then your understanding of Shastram as a Pramanam is wrong. If you say that what Shastram, what knowledge we have gained through Shastram has been put into practice so that it becomes experienceable, Atma becomes experienceable, then your understanding of Shastram as Pramanam is completely wrong. Shastram gives direct knowledge. Shastra Pramanam gives direct knowledge, immediate jnana, knowledge. Pramanam doesn't require the corroboration of experience. If what Shastram reveals has to be verified, has to be proved by Anubhava, then Anubhava becomes a Pramanam, then Shastram is not required. Therefore, what Shastram reveals, Shastram being a Pramanam, what it reveals, that knowledge is liberating knowledge. It doesn't require experience. Since Ajnanam is the cause, Avidya is the cause for samsara, I as a samsari suffer. Therefore, for the removal of this samsaritvam, what is required? Anubhava or Jnanam? Samsara is because of avidya. Therefore, vidya is required. Vidya knocks off avidya. Vidya, that Atma is myself. That knowledge only makes me free. Not special Anubhava as it is experienced in Samadhi. Therefore, it must be clear. Number one, the concept of theory first and practice next, it is wrong. This is number one. Samadhi Anubhava is neither final nor it is a requisite for moksha. Number two, and meditation doesn't give knowledge. Nididhyasanam doesn't give knowledge and therefore doesn't give freedom. Then what gives freedom? Shravanam eva. If the person is prepared person, have all the qualifications, the prepared mind, then Shravanam alone gives Jnanam. Shravanam alone is enough. Shravanena Jnanam, Jnanena Kaivalyam. Jnanadevatu Kaivalyam iti. Nididhyasanam and all required. Required. We talk about the necessity of meditation. What meditation? It is Vedantic meditation called Nididhyasanam, which is not for knowledge. It is for Jnana Pratibandha Nivritti. It is for Jnana Pratibandha Nivritti. What is the Pratibandha for the Jnanam? The unprepared mind, the unfocused mind, the mind which has been trained or which has got the orientation, the prior orientation with regard to the anubhava, whatever it has gained, the samskaras, that is the pratibandha. So for that nivritti only nididhyasanam is required. Nididhyasanam doesn't produce new knowledge and that knowledge makes you freedom. No. Shravanam alone is enough for moksha. So that is idea is what is highlighted in this the mantra that the context is here. Therefore, only we talk about this nididhyasanam because here yoga, the next shloka, the yoga is used in the 10th mantra. The word yoga is the Bhashyakara uses the word yoga. Therefore, we need to discuss on this. The mantra number 10 and 11, important mantra. Bhashyakara here is Sangati. Sahrin Manit Katam Prapyate. That is why we discuss. We discuss about the mind, the preparation of the mind. We talk about meditation. Why? Because Bhashyakara here said, Sahrin Manit Katam Prapyate iti tadartaha yogaha uchyate. Hrin Manit. Manit is that mind which has got Upalabdhi Sthanam in the Hridaya. Katam Prapyate. That mind, how it is gained. And that Bhashyakara says, and connect, and Bhashyakara saying this, he presents the Bhashyan. Therefore, only we discuss this, the mind and the meditation. And the two mantras, 10th mantra and 11th mantra. These two mantra talks on the significance of Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is called meditation. What meditation? We say Vedantic meditation. It is Vedantic meditation, Nididhyasanam. Without Vedanta, without Shravanam, on what you will meditate? Without Shravanam, without this Jnanam, Atma Jnanam, on what you will meditate? People say meditate. What is the object of meditation? They have some object of meditation. They focus on a particular object. That is preparing the mind, focusing the mind on a particular object or particular rupam or particular form, thinking about that. So that is making the mind gain focus. That meditation is not we are talking about here. Here it is that yoga, the meditation is Vedantic meditation, Nididhyasanam. And what is Nididhyasanam or Vedantic meditation? What is it? Dwelling upon the teaching. Dwelling upon the teaching that has been received from the Guru in keeping with the Shastram. That is called Nididhyasanam. Dwelling on the teaching which has come in the form of Shravanam from the Acharya. That is Nididhyasanam. Guru and the Shastram says, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahma Iva na Paraha. Brahma Jiva Satyam Mithya. Brahma is Satyam, Jagat is Mithya. Jiva is Brahma alone, not different. Aham Jivaha Brahma Yeva. Brahma, who is non-objectifiable, who experiences everything but not experienceable, I am ever the subject, never the object of experience. This is what the Shastram says, dismissing Jagat and all the superimposed limitations on me, understanding that my nature is same that of Ishvara by constantly dwelling on the teaching of the Shastram till I make it more and more real, not forgetting even by mistake, in spite of my interaction with the world, interaction with the world and the people. All the time, the world and the objects, the people, they keep, and the experience, they keep bombarding me. But I remain unshakable in this knowledge. This is what means not carried over by the world, remaining ever awake to the real nature of oneself. This is possible only when this jnanam is completely assimilated. Only when this jnanam remain ever uncovered, unhijacked. And the means to achieve this jnana nishta is nididhyasanam. So jnanam is Brahma, Satyam Jagan Mithya. Aham Jivaha Brahma Eva, na Aparaha. That jnanam. That jnanam remains unhijacked forever. In spite of my interaction with the world, worldly interactions, I continue to revel in this jnana. That is nishtha. That nishtha for that nishtha only, this nididhyasanam, Vedantic meditation is required. Shravanam is for getting the knowledge. When the pramanam is operated, Shastra pramanam is operated by the Acharya, Shravanam gives you knowledge. Mananam, it is for getting the conviction. It is for removal of the doubt with regard to the Prameya Vishaya revealed by the Shastra. After Shravanam Mananam comes Nididhyasanam. So Nididhyasanam comes after Shravanam Mananam. Nididhyasanam is not a pramana. Shravanam is a pramana. Nididhyasanam, since it comes after Shravana and Manana, Nididhyasanam meaning assimilation, internalization, which can be possible only after you have gained the knowledge and the conviction with regard to the knowledge. Samshaya Rahita Jnana Anantaram Eva. First is Jnanam, and the Jnanam has to be Samshaya Rahita Jnanam, then only the assimilation of the Jnana. Therefore, Nididhyasanam comes when it comes after Shravana Manana, and it is not a must for moksha. If you are a prepared person, then Shravanam gives moksha. So Nididhyasanam is not a pramana. Shravanam is a pramana. Shastra Shravanam gives knowledge. Now, what is the need for Nididhyasanam, if you ask? When there is doubt with regard to what Shastram reveals, there cannot be assimilation. There cannot be complete understanding, complete assimilation. Understanding is there, but it is not reflected in our daily life. Not reflected, not exhibited in the life. It means there is no assimilation. There is no internalization of what the Shastram, of what we have heard from the Shastram, or what Jnanam we have gained from the Shastram. Shastram says Aham Purnaha. But when I interact with the world, all my experiences in the world seems to prove quite opposite to that. Aham Purnaha, Shastram says, but I feel small when I interact with the people, because there are people who are greater than me, more greater than me. So therefore, doubt may come at every moment. Whether Aham Purnaha, Aham Purnaha, Shastram says, that is there, but that doubt also, that complex also, every moment, it keeps coming. Therefore, that mind which has gained the knowledge, the mind which has the knowledge, and if it has got doubt also with regard to the knowledge, it cannot be convinced of this truth. Therefore, Nishtha is not possible. When Nishtha is not there, because there is doubt with regard to the knowledge. Because doubt is there, therefore only when Aham Purnaha Shastram says, and my experience in the world seems to opposite, therefore there is always a struggle, a contradiction. A doubt is there. Or the Nishtha has not happened. The knowledge has not completely settled in me. If that is so, the doubtful knowledge, it cannot bless a person. The knowledge has to be doubt-free and it has to be completely assimilated. Doubt is a blemish. Only blemishless knowledge alone can bless a person. This doubt also, even though we may not express a doubt, but doubt may be lingering in the mind. Therefore, only mananam is suggested. After Shravanam, mananam. Doubt we cannot just dismiss like that. Shraddha is there with regard to the Shastram, with regard to the teacher, but still doubt may be there. When you have doubt, how can the knowledge bless you? When you have doubt with regard to the food, whether it contains poison, will you consume it? Will you consume the food? Will you taste it for getting convinced that it has deadly poison mixed with? Tasting the food, if it has poison, you will not survive. So you will not survive and others will get convinced that the food is poisonous. What about you? You will not be there to get convinced about it. You are convinced, you are gone. Therefore, as no intelligent person will take the risk of tasting the food, even if there is a small doubt with regard to the food. Similarly, a doubtful mind cannot enjoy complete freedom, which the Shastram teaches, even if there is small doubt with regard to the teaching of the Guru, the Shastram. Shastram says, Aham akarta, abhokta, aham purnaha, aham ananda sarupaha. But I don't experience, therefore, I don't see it as my anubhava in the world. Every time I get this dvandva, sukha, dukkha, I get demotivated, I get dejected. Jnanam also, you have heard the Shastram. Shravanam has happened. You have listened to the Shastram. Then, in spite of Shravanam, you continue to be a dukhi. It means that there is doubt and there is no internalization, assimilation of this jnana. Therefore, only after Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana. For Manana Granthas are there, like Panchadashi, etc. Manana Grantha and Nididhyasana Grantha. Nididhyasanam mind is required for Jnana Nishta. Therefore, for Jnana Nishta, the mind has to be completely convinced. How? By raising all the doubts and clarifying it and getting convinced, having firm conviction. That is called Vedantic meditation, Nididhyasanam. When your buddhi is completely convinced of the fact, Aham Brahma Eva, without raising any objection, without entertaining any doubts, even an iota of doubt not there, then like the Lakshmi Dhara, he mentions in Advaita Makaranda, beautiful the Grantha. There, Lakshmi Dhara, who is the author, he says, Ayyevodheti Chidvyomni Jagat Gandharva Pattanam Atoham na Katam Brahma Sarvagyam Sarvakaranam. Aham Katam na Brahma Sarvagyam Sarvakaranam Brahma Aham Katam na. How can I not be Brahma, which is all knowing the cause of everything? That is the conviction. Aham Katam na Brahma. How can I not be Brahma? How can I be Brahma that has become because of conviction? How can I not be Brahma? That is the conviction. That is the state of conviction. Strong conviction. That Nishta. Only when you have Nishta, then you would be able to say, how can I be away from Ishvara? How can I be isolated from Bhagavan? So that is the Nishta. That is the Nishta of this Jnanam. Therefore, how this Jnanam is gained? By Buddhi. Hrin Manid. A Buddhi which is obtained in the art. Hrit Manid. Therefore, the Buddhi has to be completely convinced when it has heard when it has heard the knowledge or gained the knowledge from Shravanam and Mananam. When the Buddhi enjoys such conviction, then I would be able to say, even in difficult times, Aham Brahma Asmi, Aham Sukaswarupi, Kada Dukhi na Bhavati. You can say, Nothing can emotionally disturb me. Physical disturbances in the form of disease, old age, etc., those may be there. That is only for the body, not for me, not for Atma. Since physical issues are not the real issues, the issue being emotions, I remain steady in knowledge, even when there is emotionally provoking situation. Even when there is emotionally provoking situation, understanding very clearly that emotional issues are not my issues, not my intrinsic issues. They belong to the mind. They are mithya. As body is mithya, mind is also mithya. The body has got the disease, it undergoes changes, it becomes old. Similarly, mind is also like a body, is a jadam only. They are mithya only. Therefore, the issues belong to the body and the mind. They are mithya. Being mithya, it cannot cause any dent in my firm understanding of that I am Brahma. Therefore, I continue to remain undisturbed in spite of there are situations, provoking situations in my interactions with the world. That it's called Jnana Nishta. In Nirvana Shatkam, in the 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 text written by Shankaracharya, beautifully he says, Manobuddhi Hankara Chittani Nakam, Nacha Shotra Jighve, Nacha Grana Netre, Nacha Vyoma Bobir, Na Tejo Na Vayuhu, Nacha Prana Sanyaha, Na Vaich Pancha Vayuhu, Nava Sapta Dhatuhu, Nava Pancha Koshaha, Na Vakpani Padam, Achopastapayu, Name Dvesharago, Name Lobha Moho, Mado Naiva Me Naiva Matsarya Bhavaha. All these are not me. Na dharmo, na charto, na kamo, na mokshaha, na punyam, na papam, na saukyam, na dukkham, na mantro, na tirtaha, na veda, na yajnaha. Agam bhojana naiva bhojyam na bhokta. Then who am I? If I am not any of this, then who am I? Chidananda rupaha shivokam shivokam. Agam nirvikalpo nirakara rupaha. Vibhatvacha sarvatra sarvendriyana. Chidananda rupaha shivokam shivokam. That nishta, that jnanam, that is gained through nididhyasanam. Therefore, jnana nishta labhyartam eva nididhyasanam, then Vedantic meditation. Then what is the obstacle for jnana nishta? We discussed in the last class, habitual thinking pattern. That is the obstacle. One has to get out of this habitual thinking pattern. That I am confined to this Sharira Manasankata, body, mind, sense complex, and all those which are connected to this. How to get out of this? By repeated replacement of the habitual pattern, the thinking, which has already formed a strong groove in the mind, that has to be replaced. This habitual erroneous thinking pattern is called a viparita bhavana. So replace the habitual thinking, the habitual erroneous thinking pattern by the right knowledge. How? By repetition, in the form of repetition. Continuous reinforcement of the teaching of the Shastram is what we call nididhyasanam. Study is also nididhyasanam. By study, what we do, we keep remembering, we keep reinforcing the teaching. Study is nididhyasanam, teaching is also nididhyasanam, listening is also nididhyasanam. Repeated listening. First time listening, knowledge. Second time listening, again knowledge, maybe knowledge, removes doubts, manam also. Repeated listening. That's why Shastram to be listened to repeatedly, again and again and again. Because when you listen to the Shastram, first time you listen, you get something. Second time you listen, you get more clarity. Third time you listen, you get more and more clarity. So gaining clarity again and again, that is mananam, and listening to the Shastram again and again, that your mind is, that the habitual, that the thinking, the regular, normal, erroneous thinking pattern is replaced by the teaching. Your mind is reprogrammed. That is why nididhyasanam. Repeated shravanam. Another definition of nididhyasanam is repeated shravanam. Because viparita bhavana is there, therefore repeated shravanam is required. Since Viparita Bhavana prevents a person from enjoying the Jnana Palam, therefore one has to continuously engage in removing this Pratibandha in the form of dwelling on the nature of oneself by repeated Shravanam. That is why Shankara Bhagavad had written all these Prakana Granthas, etc. Chidananda Rupa Shivokam Shivokam, a repetition. Whenever you confine thinking that yourself to be this body, mind, sense complex, na buddhi ahankara chittani nakam, then who am I? Shivananda Rupaha Shivokam Shivokam. That knowledge has to be replaced. That knowledge should replace the habitual erroneous knowledge. Shravanam at first time gives you knowledge. Repeated Shravanam gives you Jnana Nishta. By removing the Viparita Bhavana, this erroneous habitual thinking pattern. So the removal of Viparita Bhavana gives you Jnana Palam. That Jnana Palam, that even though there are provoking situations, you continue to remain in Jnana. You remain unaffected. And that is what in the Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Sthita Prajnaha, the name of the person who enjoys Jnana Palam is Sthita Prajna, in the language of Gita. Sthita Prajna, Yasya Saha, that Nishta, Sthita, Dukkeshu Anuvignamanaha, Sukkeshu Vigatasprugaha, Vitaraga Bhayat Krodaha, Statadhihi Munirukshate. Yastarvatra anabhisnegaha tattat prapya shibhashibam nabhinandati nadveshi tasya prajna pratishtita. That person, dukkeshu anudvignamanaha and sukeshu vigatasprugaha, is free from raga, krodha, bhaya. Tasya dhihi kim bhavati, sthitihi bhavati, jnanishta. So, that is jnana palam. The prajna is one who enjoys this palam of jnanam. Therefore, since Viparita Bhavana, that erroneous habitual thinking pattern is a problem, the obstacle, it has to be removed. Therefore, after Shravanam, one need not think or should not think that more knowledge is required. You need not have samshaya that knowledge is not sufficient. More knowledge is required for gaining the palam of jnanam. Knowledge gained through Shravanam has done the job. You don't need to struggle for gaining more and more knowledge. One need not work for gaining further knowledge. If at all one works, it should be for gaining Jnana Nishta by removing the Viparita Bhavana by deliberate effort in the form of repeated listening, in the form of either repeated listening or in the form of contemplating on the teaching. This Agankara, Mamakara, Raga, Dvesha. These four are there. These four will be there for the remove. These four are the obstacles. These are there as samskara from the beginning. These are called Dushta Chatushtayam. They are the pratibandha for this, enjoying this jnana palam. They block this jnanam. Knowledge being there after Shravanam, that jnanam is blocked by this Dushta Chatushtayam. If one has practiced Karma Yoga sufficiently and gained Chitta Shuddhi, and Upasana and gained Chitta Naischalyam, and if a person has become a complete Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha, there is no complete, in fact, there is no ideal Sadhana Chatushtaya, the ideal Adhikari not there. Everybody has got scope to improve. Everybody has got scope to improve. Therefore, Adhikaritam is a relative term only. So, if a person has gained Sadhana Chatushtayam, then this Dushta Chatushtayam can be superseded. So, the Dushta Chatushtayam has to be superseded by cultivating Sadhana Chatushtayam. Because there is a lack of Sadhana Chatushtayam, therefore only one has to do Nididhyasanam after Shravanam. Shravanam alone gives Jnanam. Nididhyasanam is required as a fulfillment of the Sadhana Chatushtayam. It takes care of the Sadhana Chatushtayam. Therefore only we insist on sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. The mind has to be prepared. The mind which is already filled with the previous orientation, samskaras, that becomes a pratibandha. Therefore, in spite of listening, if jnanam doesn't take place, it is not the problem with the pramanam, it is not problem with the shastram. Shastram has done the job. It is because of our this viparita bhavana. For that only nididhyasanam, the Vedantic meditation is suggested. So therefore, one need not think one has to experience samadhi. One has to experience samadhi to gain this ananda anubhava of atma. That is a wrong, the idea which is prevalent among many spiritual aspirants. Yoga abhyasa, we say Ashtanga yoga abhyasa, which is a means for gaining absorption of the mind on a particular topic, Vishaya. The mind is absorbed in this jnana by any means. By any means, when the mind is absorbed, that is fine. Therefore, samadhi is not a must. So in the last class, we saw the Saguna Brahma Upasana or this Ashtanga Yoga Abhyasa gives that manit, katam prapyate. By Ashtanga Yoga Abhyasa or by Upasana, etc. Is Upasana Nididhyasanam? Upasana is also not Nididhyasanam. We discussed in the last class. We'll discuss further on this more in the next class. Then we will continue the mantra. We'll stop here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Today is a special day, 12th January, National Youth Day, Swami Vivekananda Ji's birthday. Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवादः जी
धन्यवादः गुरु
धन्यवादः सर
धन्यवादः